everyone. Welcome to episode 124 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel, and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. In this case, it is the past 2 weeks because I did not have an episode last weekend. I'll share a little bit about what I was doing last weekend. And so, yeah, it's a 2-week update. I have some finished objects to share, which is really exciting. And I do have a couple new cast-ons. Worked a little bit on some of my existing projects as well. And I've still been really busy. And so less knitting has been happening, which is crazy. Also, no spinning has happened actually in the past 2 weeks. But you know what has happened? A lot of sewing, which is crazy. I say a lot, but really it's just anything more than zero sewing is a lot for me. But I have some finished sewing projects to share with you all as well. I think some of them I've talked about, but I forgot to share it last time, or I think I said it was in the wash, and so I couldn't share it with you last time, but I've also sewn something else. We'll talk about it at the end. We'll start with the knitting stuff because I know most of you here are probably all for the knitting stuff. I have actually quite a bit of acquisitions. I know, right in time for flock, which is not ideal, but all of the acquisitions are, I planned for them. I mean, all of them I've planned for. It's not like I get surprises like, oh, I forgot that I bought that. But anyway, so I have some of that to share, and yeah, honestly, I'm kind of tired today. I actually just woke up from a nap, and so I'm filming later than usual. As you can maybe tell, today, right now, it is Sunday, August 3rd, so I'm not filming on a Saturday. I planned to film yesterday, but again, things got busy. We'll talk about it. So I'm filming on a Sunday. I'm hoping to get this out on Sunday. You might be able to tell my background looks a little different. I have new piece of furniture behind me, and actually more pieces of furniture in front of me that you can't see as well. And I'm really excited about it. And we'll talk about it all. There's a lot of life that happened in the past 2 weeks. Good, fun stuff. But yeah, we'll save that for the talking part at the end. Let's get right into what I'm wearing because this is something you haven't seen me wear. This is my Penelope top by Sari Nordlund. I use Zeezee Textiles Silk Sock in the colorway Nordlys, and this is my matching green knit with my knitting friends here in Seattle area, and I'm so excited for it. Our plan is to wear it at flock, and so I'm getting a test run of it, wearing it today. And I knit size 2. I use US 2.5 needles, which is 3.0 millimeter needles to knit this. And final measurements is 31 inches in bust circumference, and that gives me about 1 inch of positive ease, which is actually quite nice. I am liking the way that it fits circumference-wise. And let me stand up. I'll put my hair to the side so you can see what this top looks like. I'll stand a bit to the back. Please ignore this fold line. That's just I folded it in half and kind of had it like that. But here's the top. It is so cute. It has wide straps, which I think is really nice. And the kind of scoop neck, I guess, or rounded. It's not a V-neck. I like the length though, or the depth. It's not too high or too low. So I do really like that. I think previously I talked about I didn't really like, after I washed it, where the I-cord ties sat. But right now, actually, I'm very happy with where it's sitting and how it looks. So I'm very, very pleased about that. It goes all the way around the back. And I just kind of weaved it in and out of all of the little yarn over holes that was made while making this top. This top is worked top down. And then, of course, the really pretty lace detail at the bottom, and it kind of creates this slightly wavy effect. There are increases that happen, I think, right after the I-cord waist part, and so there's a bit more drape here at the bottom, but I really like how it looks. This color of green is not in my normal wardrobe, but I'm very happy with how it looks. I think it looks really pretty. I really like how it looks in this color as well, and so overall, love. Let's see. I actually really want to make this top again. I don't know how soon, with the backlog of things that I want to make, how soon I'll be able to make this top again, but I would love to make it in a different color as well. Not that I don't love it in this color, but I would like to make it in a more like neutral-ish color, or maybe pink, as you maybe could guess. And I do think, even though I like how this fits on me circumference-wise, I do think I would, for my next one, make size 1, so size down a size from what I made for this one, and just because I think that it still would fit nicely. At the time that I made it, I didn't know that there were increases right around the waist area, and for me, that is where I want more positive ease than my bust circumference. And because my bust circumference and kind of like my waist or like stomach area circumference is actually very similar, like there's not that much of a difference, whenever I'm looking at patterns that have negative ease, I immediately think, like, I don't want negative ease at my waist or stomach area, and so I usually size up. But for this one, I think it would be okay because there are increases right at the waist area. So I think I would size down, because I wouldn't mind if this part was just like a bit more fitted. For changes, I did shorten the armhole depth by a little bit, maybe like an inch. I mean, that's maybe not a little bit, that might be kind of quite significant, because for me, I found that for Sari Nordlund tank top patterns, I found the armhole depth to be pretty long for me, and so I shortened it, but I still think it's a little long. If I just hold up, I know it's not a pleasant view, but I wouldn't mind if this part was a bit closer to my underarm than it currently is sitting, but I feel okay wearing this. Like, I can wear this out like this. So yeah. This is the Penelope top. I'm so excited to wear this at Flock. And with my friends, I can't wait to see all of us in our green tops. I haven't seen my knit friends in a while, and so I don't know what the updates are on everyone's green tops, but I'm excited to see whoever's finished, and hopefully we can all wear it to Flock and get a cute group picture like we did last year at Flock in our Pike Place red orangey colored tops. So I'm excited. It doesn't feel like, to me, that Flock is now less than a week away, or basically a week away. I haven't gotten in the zone yet. I haven't really planned quite yet. I need to get into the zone. And so I feel like my brain's not prepared, but I'm excited. I know that I'm excited. I know it's going to be a fun time. Can't wait to be there. But anyway, we'll talk about it more. There's like no time. Okay, I am going to put on a light jacket, because I am cold. So I'm going to put it on over this top now, but it is actually one of my sewn things that I made this past week, but we'll talk about it. I'm saving it towards the end, but I'm putting it on now because I thought it would be a nice light thing to wear over this for this video. But don't worry, I'll talk about it later. Okay, let's get through this. Sorry, I don't mean to rush, but it is later in the day. I still have chores to do, and I would love to get this video edited and posted on YouTube today. So I just want to make sure I don't talk too much, because I do talk a lot, and I feel like I have a lot of talky things I want to share with you all at the end. So I want to make sure I get through all the important knitting stuff as quickly as possible. Okay, let's talk about my finished objects, because I have 2, which is really fun, because they're the ones that I prioritize, and so it's nice that they are both done. Okay, none of them are washed or blocked, and so they're not laying quite nicely or flat. They still look a little wrinkled because they're sitting in my bag. However, I will still show them to you. Here's first one up. It definitely looks very wrinkled. Ta-da! This is the Nolita tank by Tori. This is my second knit for our PKW Flock U Knitalong, and it's done. I wanted this to be done before Flock, and I am early on it. I mean, we're close, but this is a comfortable deadline for me. Okay, I use Sea Change Fibers Bayshore fingering in the colorway Skyflower. That is the main blue color, and I held that double because it is a light fingering yarn. And I knit size 2. I use US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this. And here's the final product. It's feeling like a very nice summery kind of feel. I do wonder, it feels because the yarn is like a cotton wool blend, I believe. Cotton wool. It has that like cottony kind of feel, which is, I think, is gonna be really nice to wear and like against the skin. Because I held it double and the pattern is a DK weight pattern, I do wonder how thick it's going to feel wearing it. Like, is it going to still feel cool, or is it going to still feel a little bit like weighty and warm-ish? But I feel like it won't, but it is something that I'm curious about. And then you'll see I used like a some leftover like light pink yarn that I had from a previous project for those contrast color armhole edging and the neckline, and I'm really happy with it. I am excited to get this washed so that I can wear it, and I'm hoping that I can do that this week because maybe I'll wear this to flock. Oh, I actually have my progress marker on here. So this is where I was. This is worked top down, and so all I had left to do was just finish up the body. So I worked this much and did the I-cord bind off, and it was easy peasy. What was really nice was, and again, we'll talk more about it, but last week I went on a trip. And so this was my airplane knitting, and actually I finished this on the plane ride there. It was the one thing I worked on the plane ride, and I finished it. I did all of this knitting on the plane, I did the bind off, and I was like, we're still like an hour out from landing. I was like, oh my gosh. Thankfully, usually when it's like an hour left in the plane ride, I'm like, that's usually when things are starting to like, they're starting to clean up and we're starting to prepare for landing. And so it was like all fine with me to like not have knitting to do for that last hour, but I did all of this on the plane ride there. Don't worry, I did pack another project for the plane ride back, but that was my secret test knit, and so can't show it to you all. I'm so sorry. I feel bad whenever I talk about it because I can't share it with you all, but I will say that is another thing that I finished in the past 2 weeks, was my secret test knit, and so I'm happy that that's done and out of the way. It is so cute. I love it. But I'm glad that that's also done, so that now all of the knitting progress I share with you is like actually all the knitting that I did during the week. But yeah, so that's the update on my Nolita tank. It is done, except for the wash and block. Okay, for another finished object, this one, I'm so happy this one's done. This is, I should have like tied it so that you could actually like see it. Okay, maybe when I talk about details, I will attempt to tie it in a way that you'll be able to see what it looks like tied. If you can guess by me saying, look how it's tied. This is my Robinson Wrap Cardigan by Florence Miller. And the yarn I use for this is Woolberry Fiber Co., Berry Suri, and Berry Merino, both in the colorway Sweatshirt, and I held those together. So it's a nice and fluffy wrap cardigan. I've been wanting to make this for a very long time, and I had this yarn picked out specifically for it, and I put it on my make 9 for this year because I was like, it's happening, I'm gonna make it this year. And so it's done. Let me hold it up. I made size B, and I used US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this. Oh, okay, yay, it's holding up really nicely with the tie. It is so cute. So cute. I do love a good bow tie on basically anything that has a bow tie. I love. I'm gonna hold it up again. Pretty, cute, delicate. Looks very warm and cozy as well. And so I'm I'm excited. I'm so happy that this is done. I tried it on. It fits great. I still need to wash and block it. And I think sometimes for for a knit garment that is like a fingering weight yarn plus a fluffy, it does kind of get bigger with washing a little bit after. But I think that this one will be fine. I did not make really any adjustments on the body part of this. I think I followed the instructions pretty much to pattern for the body. However, I did change the sleeve decrease amount, which I'll just like stand up, show you the sleeves. I think I really like how these sleeves fit and what I did for the modifications. I basically, because I think my gauge was a little bit bigger than the pattern gauge, it was good for me for the sleeves because the sleeves are actually supposed to be, and it does state it in the pattern, this is supposed to just overall be a pretty tightly fitting cardigan, including like sleeve. Excuse me. So I didn't want it to be that tight. That is why I chose size B instead of size A. So I did want it to have a bit more, just a bit more positive ease because, or I didn't want negative ease too much. Also because I was like, I'll probably wear something under this. And so I don't want it to be extra tight if I'm wearing something under this. For the sleeves, I definitely did not want this to like be super tight on my sleeve, on my arms, because I just find that to be uncomfortable. So overall, because my gauge was a little bit bigger, it was fine. When I finished the recommended decreases, like the decrease rate, and I finished that, because it was bigger, towards once I got near, I think the elbow part of the sleeve, I added more decreases, and I'm gonna have to like try to read my knitting to figure out what I did, but I did add a few more decreases, because now it was starting to it was too big, I feel like, around my like forearm area. So I added more decreases just to get that to fit better, and then right before I was ready to do my cuff, and I wanted the cuff to be, I did not want that to be loose at all. I wanted it to be quite fitting because I do like cuffs that are, I like cuffs that are tight enough that I can like lift up the sleeve like this and it'll stay put because of the cuff. So I did like rapid decreases like within here. I think I did like 3 decreases, and then I was ready for the cuff. And so that's a quick overview on what I did for the sleeves. But I think from the last time, what I needed to do and what you haven't seen is a double knit band. And I guess at this point I will untie the tie so you can see the full, this is a full like wrap, right? It goes all the way around, and so I probably started on this end. I think it was this end doing the double knit band. You can see it right here. I love a double knit band. I think it looks so clean and so nice. And it's, nice on both sides. It has a nice clean edge. And it just goes all the way around from, the bottom all the way around to the other hem. And then I also did the I-cords. And of course, because it's a wrap, there is one side that the I-cord is much longer that goes around your body all the way around, and then the other one is shorter because it's just used to basically make the bow tie. But yeah, here it is. Also, this colorway is so pretty. It's like it's a gray purple. Maybe on camera it just looks gray, but up close it definitely has a purple kind of like shade to it. And I don't have it close to me, but you can see it especially in the Suri, like when it's caked up. You can see kind of small streaks of like purple in there. And I really do like how this looks. It looks I feel like it looks very Seattle colors. Like I feel like if I had to pick a color to describe just like Seattle or Washington, Pacific Northwest, whatever, I feel like this like nice kind of gray purple is quite nice. I really like it. So that's the Robinson wrap cardigan. You will see it again when I wear it on a future podcast episode. Let's talk about my whips for the past 2 weeks. I only worked on one thing that you've seen before, and the 2 others are cast-ons. Oh, this one is just a quick, I was like, I haven't worked on this in like a couple or a few weeks, and so I need to put in some more squares on it. This is the Mitered corner blanket by Purl Soho, and I am using leftover yarn. All of it, at least so far, is all fingering weight held double, either with itself, 2 strands of itself, or holding 2 different colorways fingering weight together. And this week I just did these 3. I just did these 3 this week. I actually did them in one day because I was like, I just gotta get some going on this blanket, because it's not looking like a blanket at all yet. It is very small. As you can see, I did not weave in the ends either this week, but I was like, I didn't want that to make me not want to work on it. So I was like, it's okay. You don't have to weave in the ends this week. Just work on it. Just get some squares in. I like working on the squares, and they're small, and so they really don't take up that much time. I just, I feel like, honestly, my knitting mojo has been kind of low lately, which kind of scares me, as maybe you could guess, because I love knitting. And so, yeah, anyway, I just haven't felt like wanting to work on this, even though I had like a strong start of this project. I just haven't felt like picking it up lately, but I want to keep working on it. So anyway, I worked on it. I added 3 squares. Made me feel a lot better about it, and so I'm really happy that I did that. Helped with my motivation for this blanket, because I know I'm going to love the finished object of this. As far as like pattern wise, I am just following the pattern for the size small, and I'm using US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to make this. And so yeah, all of the leftover yarn that I'm like kind of just picking from randomly-ish is just all in a bag, and so it all just kind of like lives in one big bag right now. And I think it's been pretty fun to look for color combinations, because I don't want too many of the same colors right next to each other. But it's fun to like pick up, especially if there's like, if I'm gonna like combine different colors together, to hold together. It's been pretty fun. When I get to it, it's like one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I want to pick that up and knit it right now. But then once I do like one square, I'm like, oh, I'll just do another one. Oh, I'll just do another one. So it's kind of just like getting over that like initial feeling of like, once I get it started, I know it'll be good. Okay, now really quickly, I feel like we're speeding through this versus my normal speed. I have a new cast on that will kind of bleed into acquisitions, but anyway, let me talk about this one first, just because I listed it in my notes first. I started the Fleur Tee by Woolbird, and the yarn I'm using is Sewrella cotton linen wool in the colorway Queen Mary's Rose Garden. It is pink. It is my favorite color. This is a bottom-up tee, kind of like this lace, small little lace sections. I guess kind of like columns. I'm trying to like, it's a little bit squished on my needles, and so you can't really see it. But small little lace sections in columns. I don't think I've made something like this quite yet in my knitted wardrobe, so I'm looking forward to having this. I am knitting, I believe this is size 2. When I was writing my notes, I was like, I think it's size 2. I will recount my stitches. I'll have to know what size I'm making for the further instructions, but I do believe it's size 2. And I'm using, these are small needles, okay? It is US 1.5, which is 2.5 millimeter needles for this. And actually, I think my gauge might be a tad large with this, which is kind of crazy, but I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. If you maybe remember, and it's okay if you didn't because it's been some time, I ordered some of this cotton linen wool from Sewrella, from her Summer in London collection, because I want to make matching tees. This tee pattern, I want to make matching ones with me, my sister, and my mom. And so I am starting with mine first because I want to gauge. This is like large gauge swatch to make my sister's one and my mom's one. I'm basically gonna make mine, and because it's something I can like try on and make sure it fits me first, and then at the end, because I feel like my gauge swatch is almost never quite the same as when I knit the entire garment. So once I knit mine, I can actually see what it knitted up entirely in a garment, what the gauge is, and also like final measurements, like how that all turns out, so that I can more closely reach the measurements that my sister and my mom want. Especially because like I think my gauge is big, I'm gonna have to like figure out what other sizes to make, or adjustments I need to make for my sister and my mom's. But yeah, I'm making mine first as like my sample, my practice. And as you can see, there's just like a little bit of 1x1 rib at the bottom, and then it's this pattern for the rest of the top. And yeah, I will say I'm hoping that I can memorize this stitch pattern, because otherwise working on this, because the gauge is so small, this might feel like it's going to take forever. And I knew this when I picked this pattern. I knew that it was going to be a small gauge, small needles, lots of stitches. So I'm hoping I don't get too tired of it. I really would love to finish knitting, I guess, 3 of these by the end of this year. Fingers crossed that I can keep my motivation for this. But the yarn is very, very cool. I think that this was the first collection from Sewrella where she had this yarn offering, I think, or maybe, if not the first, like one of the first that she had. It's, again, the cotton, linen, and wool, and feels really nice. It feels summery. And I was really excited about this too, because my mom and my sister both live in Hawaii. I am from Hawaii. So it's always, I want to knit them stuff, but it's hard because it's just too hot there to wear like knitted sweaters, especially in like all wool, because not only is it like hot, but sometimes it's kind of cool, right? But it really is just like humid. And so even if you have like a nice, what I would sometimes wear, like a wool summery tank top or something here, just doesn't feel quite the same in Hawaii, just because it's a bit stickier, So, but with this more summery yarn, I feel like, even though there's wool in this, I feel like the linen and the cotton might help with just feeling a lot more breezy and cool. And also because there's going to be all of these like, basically holes, right, in the top, but like they're small. Hopefully that'll help with the breeziness of it. So I thought it was perfect pairing for that. So I'm hoping that this all works out well for them. But yeah, that's why I was really excited for this top, for this project of knitting matching tees with my mom and sister. And we're all having different colors. And so I will show you in the acquisition section, which is very soon, don't worry, what colors we all decided. But I, of course, chose the pink color. I will hold up the cake of yarn here. This is what it looks like. And, I will say, it feels nice. It does not feel quite like, I would say maybe it feels mostly, like if I had to pick one of the, does it feel more like cotton, linen, or wool? I would say it feels more like cotton, has that cottony feel, but not quite. And I think because it is like a light-ish fingering yarn, it doesn't feel as like if you have ever knit with like a DK weight cotton and that's like, whoa, feels very unstretchable. This one, it has like a cottony feel, but like in a nice way. I don't know how to explain it. And I can't tell really that there's linen in it. I guess there's like very little pieces, but I feel like I've seen in other linen yarn or in linen blended yarn that there's a lot more of the linen plant matter in it sticking out. This one, not so much. And so I do find that to be nice. One thing that's interesting that I don't know which of the fibers is causing this, but when I was winding this up, it was a lot of stuff flying out of the yarn. Like, it seemed like, it's kind of like, you know, when you wind up Suri yarn, there's a lot of the Suri, because all fluffy, is kind of like flies out while you're winding it up. So that was happening with this, but like smaller pieces of something. And I don't know, was that the, I feel like not the cotton. I don't think the linen. Is that the wool part of this? I don't know, but there was like a lot of stuff kind of flying everywhere when I was winding this up. So I don't know if that was just like this one skein. Maybe the other ones won't do that, but maybe they will. And so we'll find out when I wind up more. But that was like one interesting thing that I noticed when I was winding this up. But yeah, this is my quick progress update on the Fleur Tee that I'm making. I'm gonna call this my, you know, part of my matching knits with my family, my sister, my mom. Okay, and then last whip of this week, and I started this I think like a couple days ago actually, because I finished my Robinson wrap cardigan, and that was on my Make 9. I was like, I need to cast on another one of my Make 9, so that I think I have 3 more to do in my Make 9 for the year, and I have that gives me more than a month for each. But I was like, I want to just like get on it. I want to make sure I'm always working on, always have one of my Make 9 on my needles. And so I was like, which one do I cast on? One of them I could not yet, because I want to spin the yarn for it, or at least spin the contrast color for it, which is the pressed flower shawl. So I was like, that can't be it. And so it's deciding between the other 2, and I decided on this one. This is the, where is it? I mean, it doesn't looks a little boring right now. This is the Rivendell Pullover by Sari Nordlund. I wanted to make this pullover ever since I saw the pattern come out, and I think it's been a while, right? And I don't know, it's one of those things where sometimes there's a pattern that I really, really love, and I'm like waiting for the right yarn. I think this one was like, I just wasn't sure what yarn or color I wanted to make it in. I was waiting. Then I had an option, or well, I had an idea. Finally had a sweater quantity to make this, and then I was like, I think I want that, but I want to like sit on it and wait to make sure. And I just kept sitting on it, but my mind never changed on it, and so I was like, let's make it. Let's do it. So speaking of, you know, yarn and choices, I decided to use Explorer Knits Earthy DK in the colorway Chinle, and I'm knitting size 1. I'm using US 4 needles, 3.5 millimeter needles to knit this, and I'm very happy so far. I have so this will work top down. This will work like the top of the back is worked first. This is the back, and the back panel actually was like a lot larger than I was expecting it to be for a size 1, but I like, you know, holding it up, I'm like, yeah, that looks fine. But it is quite large. Felt like a lot of knitting for the back panel, and then I just picked up stitches to do the front left. There's going to be like a cable down this down the like v-neck part, and so I did my first you know, crossover cable here, and so that's fun and exciting. Okay, one thing I didn't realize was that this was all in seed stitch. I didn't know that. And then holding this up, you can see it. It's obviously not stockinette. It's seed stitch. And I don't know why. I didn't realize it. I looked at it later and I was like, yes, if I just looked closer at it, I would have seen it's seed stitch. But for some reason, I didn't notice it until I looked at the instructions and saw that it said seed stitch. And so, very interesting. I do think that that'll make this knitting a little bit slower, because it is just knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, every single row. But yeah, I'm fine with it, but it was just funny that I didn't notice it. Okay, one observation I had was that, so this is the Explore Knits Earthy DK yarn. And I just finished, I feel like it's okay if I say this, my secret test knit, I used an Explore Knits Earthy DK yarn in a different colorway. That one felt way softer and smoother than this one. Very odd. I don't think that they changed. I think that this one was from an earlier collection, possibly, and so maybe they, I don't know, process the yarn or like the dyeing, washing something differently currently versus back then with this one. But yeah, this one feels a lot more, they are both non-superwash. The other one, I could not, the other one felt so soft. This one feels kind of like, if someone told me this is non-superwash, I'd be like, oh yeah, non-superwash for sure. So it's weird. I wonder if this will soften after washing it. Like maybe just how they dyed it back then. I don't even know. But it is, again, very interesting. They do just feel different. And it was both the Earthy DK bases. So interesting. Like it doesn't feel, still feels soft. Still feels, it doesn't feel like pokey or anything. But it doesn't have that like as smooth of a softness or like fluff. Kind of feels more hairy. But not, I don't know, I feel like that might be too, like not, that's not right. But it feels different. This one feels a bit rougher. So interesting. Again, we'll see. It's going to be a while until I finish this and can wash it and see if that'll change how the yarn feels. But either way, like it's fine. And also this is in like one of my favorite colorways from Explore Knits, Chinle, and I've used Chinle in so many different bases. I think I used fingering weight, like the Denali sock, Suri, and now Earthy DK, and so that's fun. I'm gonna have a whole collection of different kinds of Chinle colorway knitted garments. But yeah, so that's the quick start of my Rivendell pullover by Sari Nordlund, and I'm excited to work on it. I needed, like I said before, I feel like I've been in kind of like a knitting slump. Obviously I'm still knitting. I'm still doing it, but I am feeling less excited to knit on things, and so I feel like having those new cast-ons kind of like helped me a little bit get back into the groove. I have not started my August socks yet, which I thought I would get an early start on them, but it just didn't happen. But I'm hoping maybe this week I'll start my August socks. I feel like depending on what pattern I do, that would be a good knit for me to bring to Flock to work on while I'm there. So hopefully I will make a decision on that pretty soon. Okay, I want to talk about some of the sewing projects that I've been working on. Let me talk about these first, because it is the ones that last time I said I finished them and then I put them in the wash, and so I couldn't show it to you all. But I made the patch pocket shorts by the pattern Establishment. And this was the pattern that like I won as part of a giveaway. Like my friend Rumor, like, you know, tagged me in one of those like Instagram giveaways, and then we both won this pattern for free. And I think this was a couple years ago, and I just like never made the pattern, but I had it, and I was like, ugh, like it's a pattern. It's like shorts and looks like comfy shorts, elastic waistband, and I was like, I really would love that, and so I should eventually make it. And then let me hold up what I have. It's wrinkly because these are my like sleeping shorts, but these are the shorts. They're very like simple, and I feel like I really needed like a very like simple, quick sewing project to get me into the sewing mindset, and this really helped me, I feel like, to just feel more comfortable, you know? I feel like I've been tackling some more complicated sewing projects, and I really needed like a quick win that was easy to do. Not really, like there's some techniques that I've done for the first time on these, which were, I think, like patch pockets, which are, you know, pockets that you can see like it's just placed on top of the of the fabric. And so that was pretty fun. And then elastic, I was a little worried about doing the elastic, but I did the elastic. I did like the sewing, you know, to tack it down on both sides. So you had to like sew it while stretching it like this so it would stay stretchy. And so that was the first time I think I did that. And so that was really cool. Yeah, I love these. It's an odd color, I know, but this was like fabric I got from Joann's, like, when they had all their stuff on sale because they're now closed. But I bought a whole bunch of fabric from Joann's, that was on sale, and this was one of them. It's like a weird, like, tan color, and so, again, these are my sleeping shorts. I don't think I would really wear this out because it would look, color-wise, would look maybe, like, a little odd on me. But they're so comfortable. I do not know how to talk about fabrics or know what kind of fabric is what, but it is like a knitted, like it has like a stretch to it because it is like a knitted, it's not woven. You can't see it because it's too small, but it is a knitted, I think when they say knitted fabric, it's not woven. And then on the inside, it has this kind of like soft, fluff, or like, feels kind of like sweatshirt-y kind of fabric, but it's on the thinner side. So it works perfectly for like a nice comfy pair of shorts. It's perfect. Very, very happy with that. And that sewed up so quickly, and so I decided to make matching ones for my boyfriend. And I did have to make, obviously, okay, let me hold up mine. They're very short in the, from where the crotch is to where the pants hem is. So I had to like wing it, sort of, kind of, because the pattern does not have, it's this length, right? And so I had to go and retrace the pattern and just kind of like sketch out longer ones. And I think I made it longer by maybe like 5 inches, potentially, something like that. And so I made him a pair too, in the same, because I had leftover fabric enough to make him a pair, and you can see it, they're much longer. Actually, I can just hold them both up. You can see how much longer it is. There we go. Much longer, and I think it fits him nicely too. He likes the length and the fit as well, and he says they're comfy as well, and so they're both our like sleeping shorts, and so I'm really I'm really pleased with that, especially because I feel like for knitting, if I need to make an adjustment, I feel pretty comfortable because I kind of know what I'm doing, or like, you know, I can kind of like figure it out. But for sewing, I'm like, I don't know. And so, but I was like, making it longer shouldn't be that hard. Like, it's not like I'm converting these into fully long pants, right? Like, I still want them to be shorts, but just like a little bit longer. And so I think that I was able to accomplish that. All worked out. And yeah, so this was a really nice like palette cleanser for me for like sewing things, and made me really happy. I think because like this fabric is just like perfect for these kinds of shorts. Makes me happy. I've been wearing this so much. I mean, yeah, I even brought them with me on my trip that I just took, to wear, again, my sleeping pants, my sleeping shorts, my pajama pants. So yeah, that was fun. So yeah, so those are the patch pocket shorts. And again, made me feel rejuvenated about sewing. And then I wanted to sew something else. And so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to sew next. And I looked again at my pile of fabric that I got from Joann's, and I was like, ooh, what about, okay, again, I don't know how to describe fabrics, but I made this jacket. I'm going to talk about it, but it is the thing that I am wearing. I'm so happy with it. I never thought that I would make it, because when I saw the pattern come out, oh, this is the Daphne jacket by Vivian Xiao Chen. And I have sewn other patterns from her before, and so when this pattern came out from her, I really liked the look. And she had, hopefully I remember when editing, I'll show like the different versions that she made as well. I really liked all the versions, but I felt like making, actually similar to, those were my first pair of like pants or shorts that I've ever sewn, and I was scared about making bottoms, you know, like shorts or pants. Sewing them, I just felt like for some reason that would be difficult, but those were, at least those, because it's elastic waistband, and I think that, you know, that made it a lot more comfortable. Fitting wise, you know, it can, doesn't have to fit quite exactly right because of the elastic waistband. That made me feel a lot more comfortable into making something that I haven't made before. And I basically have made dresses and tops before. So pants, that was a new thing, or shorts. And then, okay, so this jacket, I was like, I really want to make it. I just don't know if I'm quite there yet. But my friend Rumor has made it in the past, and I think we talked about it, and she said, yeah. She didn't indicate to me that it was going to be too difficult for me to do. She felt like I could do it. So, yeah, I was like, actually, what if I do that? And I had this fabric. I will stand up now, so you have something to look at while I talk about it. I will also take it off to show it to you, so you can see it off of me as well. But I had this fabric, and this is, I'm pretty sure, some kind of woven fabric. But it is like, almost like a two-sided, like there's not really a right and wrong side. I mean, there kind of is. There's one side, it seems like it's kind of brushed, maybe, on one side, but honestly, if you're not looking that closely, like sometimes I had a hard time figuring out what was the right side and wrong side. And for this jacket, the main instructions are for unlined, and so it works best for fabrics that are like similar. Well, also because it can be reversible, and I'll show you what I mean later. But I felt like this fabric felt jackety. It is on the thinner side. You can maybe kind of tell, like it's not thick, but it looked jacket-like, or that it would work well in this pattern, and I think it really does. I decided to go with, it's probably View A, which is, it's the long version. I will have to like stand pretty far back. You can't see. It's basically goes right up to the top of my knee, the length of this. And I went for, there's pockets on here as well, right at the top. I did a slant pocket. There's also instructions for like just a square pocket. But I went with the longer jacket version. There is also a more cropped, shorter jacket version, but I went the long one. And then what's really cute is like on one of the pockets, there's like a mini phone pocket on the inside that is a square. And I really like how that looks too. Okay, my favorite thing about this was when I was figuring out what I wanted to use to make this jacket pattern. Also, I made size 2. Because I wanted to make sure that there was positive ease. I wanted it to have ease, positive ease, all over. What was I saying? Oh, I got, if you remember from my Japan trip earlier this year, I got some bias tape, really pretty floral bias tape, and you can maybe guess that it's what I used here. And this pattern has optional bias tape binding or like edging, and I was like, yes, I want to use the bias tape that I bought from Japan. I do have a sad note on that though, because I ended up running out of that bias tape for this project. I swear that the amount it says in the pattern was slightly less in the pattern than what I had. So I had more, I had extra, just a little bit extra than what the pattern says. But I ran out, and so I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe I did too much of the optional. Maybe the pattern specifications for bias tape length for it was just for some of the bias tape finishing and not all of them. I don't know what happened, but I really like what my workaround ended up being. But okay, let me take it off now so I can show you all the details. Because what's really cool is this jacket's supposed to be, especially if you do the bias tape stuff, it's supposed to be reversible because there's bias tape edgings on the inside. And so, oh my, look how cute all of the pink floral bias tape is. I'm just so sad I didn't get more of it while I was in Japan. But all the edging on the inside, and let me flip this actually inside out. At least on one of the sides here. Actually, let me just flip the whole thing inside out. It's supposed to be pretty reversible because there's no kind of like raw edges that you can see. It's all enclosed in the bias tape. And because my fabric is pretty, like, looks the same on both sides, it kind of works out. I did not do any kind of lining for this jacket, although there are instructions for how to do that, but that seems way too complicated for me. But as you can see, there's bias tape around the shoulders and around the neck, and also around the armholes. Very cute. Okay, here's where I ran out. So I did all of the bias tape for the shoulders, or, you know, top of the neck, shoulders, around the arms. I did it for the pockets, which I guess this jacket is reversible. But if you put pockets on, then the pockets will be on the inside. And then I got to the part where you have to do bias tape from, you know, all across the arm, all the way down the side of the body. And as you can tell, I have a different colored one. I have like a pink gingham one instead, because at that point I was like, oh my gosh, I do not have enough. I definitely don't have enough to do one whole side plus the second side. And I still needed to do the sleeve cuffs and the hem. I was like, what? So I was like, I'm going to kind of give up on the dream of this being wearable reverse. I don't think I would ever go out wearing this reverse. But I still wanted to show, I wanted to see the bias tape that I got from Japan, that one. So what I ended up doing was, as you can see, I found in Stash this pink gingham bias tape that I did that just for the arm and sides, for both sides, and then I literally had just enough. Like, I had to kind of stretch it a little bit to do the sleeve binding, both sleeves in the floral pink binding, as well as for across the entire hem of the jacket. And so that is what I did. Just so I could I was like, do I also just like not do bias finishing on, you know, where I switched it out for the pink gingham? But I was like, if I'm gonna, I already went through the effort of doing, so it was so much, it was kind of a lot of effort to do the bias binding. I feel like I've said bias tape, bias binding a bajillion times already, but I've gone through all that effort of doing it for, like, you know, all of this. So I was like, I want to just do that for the rest of the seams. I don't want to see any, like, you know, the raw edges, even if you would, you know, do like the zigzag stitch over it. But I think, and then at that point I was like, but now if I wear it like this, you won't be able to see the fun bias tape that I got, except for on the pockets. So what I think maybe is what I'll do is, like, for the sleeves, I've seen, like, the designer when she was, like, modeling her pictures, like, I could just, like, roll up the sleeves a little bit, you know, on the outside, so that I can see the sleeve binding on the outside, you know, versus, it makes it a little bit shorter, but, you know, it's not crazy short versus I'm trying to, you know, it's a little bit long, which I like, but I could, if I wanted it to be more wrist length, I could roll it up and reveal the cute binding so that I can, while I'm wearing this, right, and I'm doing stuff, I can, like, see it, right? So I could do that. And then the last thing that I needed to do on this, I'm, like, standing up and down, up and down. The last thing I needed to do was the body hem, right? And what actually was supposed to happen in the pattern was that I got to this point on the hem where it looks like this, where it is, you can see the flower binding on both the front and the back. And then what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to fold it inwards. Maybe, I think it was like maybe like this much, and then sew it down this way. So from the right side, you won't be able to see the binding, but on the inside you will. And I was like, I want to see more of it. So I'm just going to not fold it. So this is actually probably a little bit longer than the pattern states for this because I did not do the extra fold of the hem because I wanted to keep this binding visible from me wearing it with the right side out. So that's what I decided to do. Also meant less sewing. I finished this project quicker that way, and I really like it. I wore this out today, and it's perfect. I love it. I want to make another one in like a different color and a different kind of fabric too. I feel like there's lots of options for this. And for a jacket pattern, I feel like this, I remember the description was saying like it's pretty like simple and minimal, pieces and cutting. And it really was. I was very shocked at how little pieces there was to cut to make this, and so it was very approachable for me, and I really like how it looks. I love that there's this collar that folds out like this. Like, that's really nice of a touch. I do love that. And there was just just the back piece, the two fronts piece, and the sleeves and the pockets. Pockets are also optional, right? Like, you don't have to sew on the pockets if you don't want pockets. And so overall, I'm very pleased. I'm very happy. I feel like my sewing projects this year have all made me really happy and excited, and I've been wearing them quite a bit. And so I think this one's going to be one I wear a lot too. I think this took me over the course of maybe like 3 or 4 weekday nights to work on. And so those were nights I did not knit. I was sewing this, and that time includes like cutting out the pattern, piecing it together, tracing it on my tracing paper, cutting that out, cutting out my fabric, and then sewing it. So yeah, I could not stop sewing this. Really wanted the finished object, and it was pretty fun, maybe frustrating in some parts to sew, but very happy with the results. And so I wanted to get this done too because I was like, maybe it's something I wear to flock if because I want to wear my tank tops to flock, but it might get a little cold, so this could be my light over layer to wear there. So I wanted to finish this. Oh, I do love this. I don't know what's been happening, but I'm happy about it. Sewing has been quite fun. It does involve a lot, though. Like, I have, bring out my sewing machine, bring out all the rulers and the cutting mat and my scissors and the thread and all of that. Like, it's a lot more than I feel like knitting. I just bring up my knitting bag and start knitting. But I've been enjoying the sewing lately. So I have another pattern potentially up next to sew, but I don't think I'm gonna get to that super soon because I don't know what fabric I want to use. So I'm hoping that doesn't stop my sewing mojo too much. But I'm quite happy with my sewing this year and my projects. I feel like they've all been pretty successful. Yeah. Okay. Is that it? That's it for my sewing. Yes. It was quite a bit though, right? For the past couple weeks. For sewing, I think this is the most I've sewn in a while. I've been wanting to sew more for the past couple years, but I feel like this is the first year that I've really kind of gotten more into it. And so I did have this thought. I was like, maybe it's because ever since I moved into a house that there's just more room, and I have a dedicated kind of area for sewing, and so I don't have to actually put stuff away every single time I want to sew, because I used to sew on the dining table in the apartment, and then I have to put it away when I want to eat or at the end of the day, and then bring it back out and do all that. But now that I have not the dining table to sew on, I can kind of leave my stuff when I'm done for the day. I think that has helped with my sewing mojo, because then I, the cleanup and moving and everything doesn't have to, it's not as much as it was before. So I do feel like that maybe helped a bit, but I'm very happy. Also, I have a lot more floor space to like cut out patterns, and so that's nice as well. So I think that maybe that's what helped. Okay, I want to talk a bit about my acquisitions, just because I have quite a few, I think. Okay, I am realizing I don't think I talked about these, but if I have, I apologize. I will just be talking about them again. I don't think I have, though. I did get this in the mail, Woolberry, Berry Shanico DK. This was her from the Caboose 2.0 collection. I think that was the first collection where she had the Shanico yarn base offering, and I really, really wanted to get my hands on it. So I bought some Berry Shanico DK in the colorway Pasture, which is a really nice, kind of like muted green color, and I bought a sweater quantity. I do have a sweater plan for it. Would love to make it this year if I have the time, but it already feels great. It's a 3-ply, and so it does feel very round for the yarn, as they say, for 3-ply, and it really does. It's kind of like, it is a great description for how that yarn feels, a 3-ply. But yeah, I do love how this color looks in person. It just has a lot of like color depth to it. Like, it's not just one solid color. You can see just like lighter and darker sections in it, and I think it's going to be really pretty knit up. So I got a sweater quantity of that. I did get in my, this must be the August or July, August, La Mercerie Yura fiber. She already posted this on the Instagram and all of that, and so I think it's safe to share, but if you haven't seen it yet or anything, look away for maybe like 20 seconds. But this is from, the fibers from Big Little Yarn Co., which I was excited to see. And the colorway is Antique Velvet. It's a merino alpaca blend. 67% merino, 33% alpaca, 100 grams, so it's 3.5 ounces. And it looks like this. It actually looks kind of small, and maybe it is just like the 0.5 ounce difference that makes it look a little bit smaller, or it could just be the fiber composition just makes it a bit more compact. But it's all of these like purpley colors, which I feel like Big Little Yarn Co. does some really great purple colors. I've had some purple colors from her in the past and really liked it, and so excited to try this out. It feels soft but hairy, and I think that that's kind of like the alpaca fiber in here, so this will be interesting to spin up. Okay, then as I hinted before, I did get in my Sewrella order for those Fleur Tee kits that and I say kit because I bought it as a kit on the site, but it is just the yarn. I had to buy the pattern separate, but I did get that yarn in for me, my sister, and my mom. And here's the 3. I feel like they look really nice together, and so it'll be fun for us to wear them next to each other. I feel like these colorways fit, and so this is the one I'm working with, Queen Mary's Rose Garden. And then for my sister, she wanted this dark green, which is called Daunt Books. And then my mom wanted this dark blue, and this is Oxford. And so again, just holding up all of the 3. Also, I really like the yarn band on these. Let me show has this little graphic on here. I'm going to try and focus the camera on this. It's really nice. It says Sewrella yarn, looks like a little shop in London is what I think the inspiration was, since the collection is summer in London. It is a 60% superwash merino, 30% Pima cotton, and 10% linen. It is 100 grams for each skein, and it's 437 yards for each, and so that kind of maybe gives you an idea on that yarn. Ooh, yeah, it looks really nice all together like this. Yeah, I'm very happy. I was happy to see these in person and to get them so that I can finally start working on that project, because I do think those will take a long time to make. And I think that's at least all that I can remember to talk about for acquisitions. Oh no, I guess in my Sewrella order, ouch. I got some wool washes. I think it might have just been all 3 of the scents that she had for this collection. They all smell great. I'll just read off the names. I'm not good at smelling something and telling you what's in it. But I got Summer in London, Oxford, and Water Lily. I do think my favorite out of all of these is Water Lily. I did smell them all before filming. Yeah, Water Lily is my favorite. It smells like nice and fresh. The other ones have like a nice strong smell. Like not strong, but like this one it's more of a light scent, which I love all of them, but I do think I like Water Lily the best. But I don't think that I have smelled a Sewrella thing that I haven't liked, and so I do just think that maybe we have very similar scents that we like, because I've liked all of the ones that I have gotten from her. I'm happy to have some new wool wash scents. It's been a while since I bought some wool wash. I have not run out of any wool wash, but it feels nice to have a refresh in scents for that. And then yeah, so that's the end of acquisitions. Okay, let's talk about what the heck I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Okay, now that I'm back and I can share more about it, not this past week, but the week before that, I was away on a work trip / fun trip. So I actually flew to Florida. It was my first time going to Florida. I went to Orlando, and so I went for the first part of the week for a work trip, and that was just work. But I was like, since I'm there, I took some time off, and I decided to go to Universal Studios and also to Disney World. And that was my first time ever at any Universal Studios, and then obviously first time at Disney World because I've never been to Florida before. So I was really excited. You might think I'm crazy, but I did Universal Studios in one day. And not all of it, but only spent one day at Universal Studios and only spent one day at Disney World. I'll just give a quick rundown. But like Universal Studios, we went to 2 of the parks that had like the Harry Potter stuff. We did not go to the new park that has Harry Potter stuff. We went to the 2 other ones. And I tried butterbeer for the first time. I really wanted to try it. It was so good. I really liked it. I do think the frozen drink is better than the normal drink. Also had butterbeer ice cream. That was so good as well. And I tried to strategize. Both of those days were so busy. I tried to strategize. I'm not that much of a roller coaster ride kind of person, but I definitely wanted to hit at least one ride per day, which was like the most popular ride, I guess, that people were saying was. And so for the Universal Studios day, my main goal was just to hit the Harry Potter stuff. And if we had time to hit the other parts of the park, also fine. We basically walked around all the way around both of those parks. But I was able to ride that Hagrid's motorbike adventure ride or something. And, that was intense. I think, again, I'm not really a roller coaster person, but that one went so much faster than I was expecting. It was very fun. I would definitely ride it again, but it was quite like, ooh, like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going so fast, and it like stops. And, obviously when you're waiting in line, there's like warnings about, fast acceleration and stuff on the ride, but I wasn't sure what to expect. But it was very cool. I feel like it lived up to the hype that I was reading up about that ride. And then we rode a couple other Harry Potter rides as well. I think, I forget which one we rode, like the first ride, because we tried to wait till the Hagrid's ride wait time died down a little bit, but we rode one that was like right across from it, or actually not quite, no. Anyway, I don't remember what it was called, but then we also rode the Gringotts ride. That was fine. It wasn't as good as the other ones, I feel like, but it was fine. I was happy I rode it. The wait time was kind of long, though. The wait time was long for all of them. I did not buy the Fast Pass for any of the parks. No. It was just kind of ridiculous. But so I waited in line, but I feel like we didn't ever have to wait super extremely long. Like, I feel like the longest we've waited for any of the rides, Universal Studios or Disney, was maybe like 90 minutes, which is a long time, but not terribly long. But Universal Studios, good. Went to Disney World. We started off in Hollywood Studios because I wanted to ride the Star Wars ride, the Rise of the Resistance. That was my one main goal for the Disney World day. And that one, I think we also waited 90 minutes, but I think we were kind of lucky because we waited in line maybe half an hour, and then they said the ride broke. And they had no idea how long it was going to take to fix. And I was like, let's just wait a little bit and see how long it takes. And I think what happened was once they fixed it, the line moved so quickly. And I think my prediction on what happened is because when the ride broke, I think everyone that was waiting in line for the Fast Pass probably left because they have a Fast Pass and they can come back whenever, right? And I think when they left and when the ride started again, the line just moves way faster if you're not letting the Fast Pass people basically cut in line, right, of the main line. And so I think we got lucky because of that. Like, and thankfully the ride fix didn't take too terribly long. So yeah, and that was amazing. I would love to ride that again. It was a whole experience. And it was very cool. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, but I have watched the movies. Some of the, like series shows as well. Like I want to watch them. I'm like, know a bit of what's happening. But that was a cool ride. That was really, really cool. So that was definitely worth it. We did a couple other rides as well in like the Star Wars area and took some pictures, ate some food there as well. Everything was themed so nicely and so cool. Like even the bathrooms were themed really cool. So it was all really amazing. And then we went to Epcot. Reminder, this is all in one day. Like this was so crazy. I don't think I could ever do this again. But then we went to Epcot and we walked all the way around. Oh, we rode the Ratatouille ride. Just because I love Ratatouille, the movie. So we rode that ride. That line also was quite long. And then, okay. Oh, I should have worn, I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, this is gonna sound so crazy, but my actual favorite thing at Disney World was getting this little guy, my little shoulder Remy. I saw someone walking around the park with it, and I was like, I absolutely needed a shoulder Remy, and I was like, they probably are selling it in the France, like Paris, section of, in the Epcot, like, world, area, and of course they were selling the shoulder Remys, and I absolutely needed to get one, and so I did, and Remy lives on my shoulder for the rest of the trip, in Disney World, and so this little guy, I am seriously obsessed. I think my favorite pictures that I took, at Disney was with Remy on my shoulder, just kind of like peeking in on my pictures. I'm like actually obsessed. I'm so happy. This makes me so happy. They did have other creatures or like characters that were like shoulder things, but I just feel like Remy was the cutest. So yeah, I'm very happy with this purchase, and Remy will live on my shoulder for the rest of this video. But yeah, so we did the Ratatouille ride, and then we had lunch in, like, we wanted to kind of sort of at least walk through or like walk past all of the different like countries, I guess, of that was in the Epcot kind of area. And so we kind of like walked past, just like looked, took pictures, and then we had lunch in like the Japan area, and then we walked into, what was the one? I think it was Norway, maybe. I wanted to get like this frozen chocolate coffee drink that sounded really good. Oh, we also went to China and got some tea. The tea was very good, like oolong tea. And what else? I mean, we kind of just like walked through. We just want to see it all since we were there, right? And food was good also. The food was good. Did we get any more snacks? Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what we did for Epcot. did some shopping there. And then to get from Hollywood Studios to Epcot, we took like the gondolas like in the air. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was a monorail between all the parks, but it was like a gondola between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And then after Epcot, we wanted to end the day in Magic Kingdom. That's what it's called, the one with the castle, the main one pretty much. And so we went there and we kind of just we did walk around basically the entire park to look at everything. We did a couple rides there too. I'm trying to think, was there like what other fun ride did we do there? I mean, the whole trip wasn't really to ride the rides. We really just wanted to see the things, eat the food, take pictures, and just experience it. But we did, one surprising thing was we wanted to ride the Winnie the Pooh ride. I mean, it's a children's ride, but Winnie the Pooh's also cute, and I just wanted to see what it was. It's kind of like you sit in the cart and it kind of takes you through a story, right? Whoa, that was a popular ride. The line took so long, and then we got past the point, where the Fast Pass people, where they cut in line, like that point. We passed that point, so I was like, whew, okay, we're like ready to get on the ride pretty soon. And then the ride broke, and they, unlike the Star Wars ride earlier in the day where they were just like, they kind of let us wait in line, this one, they were like, well, I don't know, they didn't tell us to leave, but they were just like letting the line was going through, and we're like, I wonder what they're telling the people at the front of the line, and they just gave us fast passes to come back later. So that was cool, and I felt like, even though I was like, I'm against fast pass, that at least we waited in line already, and so coming back, we'll fast pass it. So we had dinner later. I think at the place is called Skipper Canteen, I think, and that was pretty cool. Food was good. I really enjoyed that. And also the waiters and waitresses were like in character, and I thought that was pretty fun and a cool experience. And then we went back, we rode the Pooh ride, and that was great. And then, but after dinner, we were looking throughout dinner, we were looking to see the Pooh ride, like I think broke down again at some point. We're like, what? I hope it's okay. And then so after dinner, we're walking back, and then the light show parade was happening, and so we couldn't really walk, so we watched it, but that was nice. So that wasn't part of the plan. Finally made it to the Pooh ride, and we were able to ride it, and that was great. It was cute. Perfect for after dinner, because I don't want to ride something after I eat food. I feel like I would just feel sick, but that one was fine. And then we're on the way back, and I wanted to buy some more like souvenir things and stuff for like friends and family. And then we weren't even planning to stay as late to watch the fireworks, because also I was like, it's going to be so much people trying to leave the park at the same time or around that time. Also because it's late. Because I think the fireworks show started at 10 p.m. But after all of that, everything we wanted to do, we ended up seeing part of the fireworks show. But I was like, we cannot watch it till the end because everyone's going to be leaving after, and it's going to be crazy. So we just kind of like walking towards exit, kind of like looking back a little bit to see some of it. So we at least saw some of it. Okay, I feel like I just talked like really fast just now, but like, yeah, that was basically the gist. And also everything did feel somewhat rushed, except for when we were waiting in line. But overall, I had a great time. Florida was so hot and humid though. I was crazy. I've never felt that hot and humid kind of weather before. Even coming from Hawaii, like it does not get that hot or humid. So that was crazy. I had like those fans, like the neck fans. It kind of looks like headphones around your neck. That was honestly, I feel like somewhat of a lifesaver, because I feel like without it, it would have just been like so bad. I also had like a bucket hat situation going to help cover me from the sun. So that did help, but oh my goodness, it was hot. But overall, such a great time. I had so much fun. But yeah, Florida is far from Seattle. I think the flight is about the same amount of time from here to Hawaii, which I already feel like is so long. So, it's quite a long flight. I did get a lot of knitting done, both going there and coming back. And so that was good. Yeah, I think that's it. My favorite think my favorite thing is the shoulder Remy. Also, if you've never seen one of these shoulder buddies before, there's like a magnet that they attach to, and that's how they attach to your clothes and like onto your shoulder, and that's why he's not falling off of my shoulder. So cute. I'm obsessed. But anyway, so that was my trip, and then I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about that happened. I don't know, this past week was like my first week kind of back on schedule, working and skating. I am preparing for my skating competition that's coming up in 2 weeks. I'm kind of nervous now. I'm nervous. The schedule came out for it, and so I know now who I'm competing against. Thankfully, it's a pretty small group, and most of it is friends, basically, and so I think that'll make me feel a little bit better, feel slightly less pressure, and just like enjoy it a bit more, I hope. And then this coming week, during my skating lessons, I'm gonna actually like wear my skating dresses. These are new dresses for this season for my program, and so I'm excited to wear them and try them out and see how it looks on the ice. And so I'm again nervous for that as well, but exciting. It's something I need to do, kind of like dress rehearsal, right? And so yeah, that's all. It's all coming up very fast. And so, okay, just update on, I know that this summer has been, filming wise for me, has just been kind of crazy. But I am unsure if I will be able to film something this coming weekend because it's flock weekend, and I think I'm going to be packed with flock stuff and doing stuff, and I'll probably be tired. So I might not be able to film next weekend. And then the weekend after that is my skating competition, both Saturday and Sunday, and so I will not be in any kind of have no free time or the mental like capacity to do that while preparing for my competition. So I also don't think I'll be filming then, and so the next update I have might be a 3-week update. I'm hoping maybe within that time I can post a little bit more on my Instagram, because I do have a backlog of stuff to post, and so hopefully I can keep the conversation, or at least update you all, even though it's stuff you've already seen on the podcast. Just like keep it going, let you know that I'm still here on Instagram, at least, because it's gonna be, I think, some time until I film again, which I do apologize for, but it just has been so busy. That's a quick update on future videos. I know one other thing I wanted to talk about was my parents were here visiting, basically. Like, we also went to Florida together, and they just actually, I dropped them off at the airport this morning, and so they've also been staying with me, so everything has been a bit hectic, just like out of the ordinary kind of stuff, right? And they've been helping me a lot with like house projects and all of that. And again, as I've talked about earlier in the video, my new cabinet behind me, I bought like 4 furniture items from IKEA for different sections of the house, but I have 2. There's one here, and then I have like a sideboard thing to the side of me here, which I love. So my room right now is an absolute mess because I just needed to make room to fit these things in, and then I need to put stuff in it, and so everything's a mess right now. But I'm hoping to also find some kind of time within this week, hopefully, to put things away and into its new spot, into new furniture, because I have been so badly wanting to buy this furniture to put stuff in, and I don't want stuff to just be sitting on the ground. So I'm excited for that, but I spent all day yesterday building the IKEA furniture. I love building IKEA furniture for the most part. Like, I do find it to be pretty fun. So it was fun, but it was all day I was building this stuff, and so I'm pretty tired. I did take a nap today. So yeah, I'm tired, but I'm excited. This coming week is going to be kind of back to normal. No visitors, and then we're going to have flock. I'm going to have a friend staying with me, and then my skating thing, and then maybe after that I'll get a bit more relaxy free time. Oh my gosh, one more thing I want to mention. I've only mentioned this once before, but I need to mention it again because if you have not watched K-pop Demon Hunters yet, it is a movie on Netflix. I highly, highly recommend you watch it. I have watched it over 10 times since the first time I've seen it. Okay? I am actually obsessed with it. It is the only thing that I am listening to when I'm in the car and I have my music on. And I am that, have you seen, if you have watched the movie, you've probably come across, maybe even if you haven't, it's just really popular because it's so good. Also, I feel like it gets better every time I watch it because I notice different things. I have been singing the entire soundtrack every time I drive to the ice rink and when I drive back home from the ice rink. It is all I'm listening to. It's all I'm singing. And I am that, I've seen this reel on Instagram where it's like, oh, like, you know, in traffic, trying to seal the whole mood, and it's this Elmo, like, driving and, like, singing Golden. I cannot figure out which is my favorite song from that soundtrack. They're all so good, but I do think Golden is top of my list. It is a hard song to sing. It goes so high, but I love that song so much. But all the songs, I'm learning more and more of the lyrics, which is great. But yeah, this is my second, I think, time mentioning it. Just in case you need a bit more convincing, try it out. Try it out. Also, watch it. I've talked to a few people and they were like, oh, but you know, something about subtitles and listening to it in Korean. No, the original is in English of this movie. So watch it in English. You don't have to worry about, if you're concerned about, you know, having to find time to sit down and watch a K-pop Demon Hunters movie. The title just sounds so crazy. But if you're worried about, because sometimes for me, if I want to watch something, but I want to watch it in like the original language that's not English, I have to really find the time where I can like sit and watch the subtitles or like read the subtitles. This one, you don't worry about it. The original of this movie is in English, and so just watch it in English. If that's what's stopping you. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm actually obsessed with that movie. For real. Actually. Love it. So much. Okay. I think that now I am reaching time. Ooh, it was a long episode. I had a lot of things to cover. I had to cover 2 weeks. Next video, I'm probably covering 3 weeks. And so hopefully it's not too long, but I apologize for the late upload for this video. I hope you're all still enjoying these videos. Thank you so much for watching and commenting whenever you do. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. Thank you. I hope you all had a great week, and I hope you all have a great upcoming week and upcoming 3 weeks the next time I talk to you all. If you have any fun, oh my gosh, since I won't be talking to you all, this is the last time I'll be posting a video before Flock. I would love to see you all at Flock if you're gonna be there. If you see me, feel free to say hi. I'm a very shy person in person. Like so I might not look maybe that approachable, but definitely if you see me, feel free to say hi. I would love to say hi and meet you all in person. I am planning on being there on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm hoping to do some shopping, but not as much as before. I would love to just like sit and knit for the most part. I don't know, but I'll probably be walking around, I want to see the vendors. But yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Flock. If you're going, I hope you all have a great time there as well. I hope that the weather is nice in Seattle. I didn't look at the weather forecast, but I hope it's nice. And yeah, and if you're traveling for Flock, I hope you all have safe travels. And yeah, I will talk to you all in, I think, 3 weeks. I know it sounds so crazy. But yeah, I cannot wait. I hope I have lots of updates to share with you all. I hope you all are working on some fun projects, finding some relaxing time. Don't forget to stretch, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!